Hello there guys, it's Publicaon here, back with another video, and today I'm going to do a new what if, and it's what if Deku had the Hollow, or had Hollow's powers, same thing. Anyway, let's begin. So this what if start, similar to canon. Deku grew up with Bakugo, he turned on him when he was deemed quirkless, and for the next 9 years he bullied him senseless. And each time he hurt him using his quirk, Deku was never badly hurt. Maybe it was Bakugo's doing. Maybe he held back, or maybe it was something else entirely, making sure that Deku always stay alive. A guardian angel of sorts. So time went on just like the anime. Deku met All Might, he asked him if he can become a hero without a quirk. At first he refused, but after Deku saved Bakugo from the sludge villain, All Might deems him worthy of one for all. So he trained him. And during their training, Deku, just like the anime, did a bit more training than his regiment. All Might warned him not to, but each time Deku fell to the ground, he stood right back up, surprising All Might each time. It's like the kid have backup power whenever he needs some. So fast forward a year, All Might gave Deku one for all. Then Deku went to the exam. He saved Araka from the 0-point robot, breaking both of his legs and arm in the process. And after the cavalry girl healed him and a week has passed, he went to UA. He have his encounter with Bakugo, Araka, Ida, and mostly Mr. Caterpillar himself, Eraserhead. He went through the exam, breaking his finger in the process, and his determination was able to intrigue Aizawa, so he did not expel him. So you're asking yourself, this is just like the anime so far. You're right, the change will happen in the second day, when everyone are wearing the hero costume and they are doing the test, heroes versus villains. Deku team up with Araka against Bakugo and Ida. Fast forward a bit and Deku is fighting Bakugo. And Deku angered Bakugo to the point where he used his gauntlet. And he fired it. And Deku survived that massive blast without a scratch on him. Somehow. Then he broke his arm to win. So just like the anime. So here's what small difference will start. When Deku was taken to the cavalry girl and she do a checkup on him, she found something weird. She only found damage in his 2 arms. He should be more hurt than that. And she found out the reason. A mask was under Deku's costume. And it seems that mask absorbed the massive explosion. You're lucky, Sonny, this mask saved you. But that raises another question. What is made of? Because there is no way a normal mask will absorb that big of a blast. She tried to take a piece of it, but it was too strong to break. And after trying multiple times, she gives up. So fast forward a bit and Deku woke up. Oh, Sonny, you're awake. Recovery girl? What happened? Well, you're reckless just like that buffoon and broke your arm. You're lucky that I was able to heal it. Oh, sorry, but that was the only way I can think of to win. Yeah. Just make sure to not do it again. There's a limit on how much you can heal your bones. Okay. Plus, recovery girl add, you're lucky. Lucky? Deku asked. Your mask saved you. My mask? Deku asked. Yeah, this one. I found it under your hero costume. Oh, really? She nodded. Then Deku started thinking that's not his mask. He never saw it before, but he can feel something familiar about it. Can I take it? Sure. Deku take it and start looking at it. I have never owned this mask before, but why it feel like it's so familiar? Then he was caught up by a string of thoughts when a cavalry girl called for him and told him it's almost time for you to go back home. You have been knocked out for a few hours. Alright, sorry about that. Deku will leave, and unlike canon, he did not meet Bakugo. He was so focused on the mask that he lost track of time. He only snapped out of it when Araka called for him because he walked past the class. They talked for a bit, and after making sure that he's fine, they made their way home. But for the rest of the day, Deku kept thinking about the mask. Where did it come from? And why it's so familiar? All these questions are still in Deku's head, with no answers. So the next day, everyone are in their seat, and yes, Bakugo is there. Because I don't think that he will quit just because of Deku beating him. He will be more angry than usual, but he will not quit. He's a stubborn bastard. So while everyone is talking, Aizawa entered the class and he told them about the USJ. So they get ready and they went to USJ. They met 13. She explained USJ and what it means and what they will do. Then Kirishima spotted the portal of Kurogiri. Oh, fake villains, he commented. No, they're not. Everyone get out, Aizawa shouted, and he charged at the villains. And just like the anime, they sent Ida to get help and the rest get separated. Deku ended up with Tsuyu and Minata, and they escaped after Deku sacrificed his fingers. 2 of them actually. They landed in a main field when they saw Aizawa getting pummeled by the Nomu, Shigaraki by the help of Kurogiri charged at them, but right before they reached Tsuyu, Deku delivered a furious right hook to his face, sending him flying backward. And this surprised everyone, even Deku. Then Shigaraki collected himself. Ah, you brat. That was a good punch, I will give you that. Deku was listening to Shigaraki, then something caught his eye. He looked to his right and saw what he can describe as a monster, but it's different than Nunumu. The Nunumu resembles a bird. This one is like a skeleton. It's completely white, with sharp teeth and claws and glowing golden eyes. Deku and the thing stared at each other. Oh, so our puppet got your attention. This is going to be fun. Puppet, why don't you... But before he can finish his sentence, the monster, or let's call it the Hollow for now, charged at Deku, grabbing him by his face and throwing him away. Huh, this is interesting. It seems that it wants to kill him. I don't care. I was going to kill that brat anyway. But comparing what that thing is going to do to him, my method will be way more merciful. So we switch to Deku, who just got thrown to the forest. Luckily the branches were able to smooth out his fall. Ah, what was that? Luckily nothing is broken, but what was that thing? And the second he said that, the Hollow landed a few feet away from him. Ah, damn it, me and my big mouth. The Hollow growled at Deku, but Deku on the other hand can feel something familiar. There is some similarities between his mask and this thing, but his sting of thought was cut off by the Numu charging at him and tried to slash him. Deku luckily reacted quick enough and jumps out the way, but when the Hollow's attack hit the ground, it created a shockwave that pushed Deku away and destroyed a portion of the forest. Deku was terrified. If he didn't dodge, he would be dead. But what shocked him even more is he had the feeling that that attack was not his full power. It's holding him back, maybe it's trying to mess with him, like a predator playing with his prey. But then something catches Deku's eyes. There is almost like a collar on the Hollow. That's a collar, meaning it's been controlled. That's why he called his puppet. Deku started thinking of a plan on how to stop it or just survive, but the Hollow is not giving him any time to think. He charged at him once again, so Deku threw caution at the wind and started using One for All. And for the first time he held back, and he was able to land a hit square on the Hollow's face, cracking the mask. Deku was honestly surprised because his hand is still intact. It hurt a bit, but he's still able to move it. Second, when he cracked the mask, the Hollow starts screaming in pain. Then the color starts letting out electricity. Deku can see the Hollow in pain, and the second they lock eyes, without thinking, he charged at it. He grabbed the collar and he also got electrocuted, but he didn't let go of the collar. He started pulling as hard as he can, using One for All, and the Hollow is doing the same. Deku's bones start breaking because of One for All, but he didn't care about the pain. The only thing in his head right now is helping this thing. No, this person. So after struggling a bit, they were able to break the collar. The two land a few feet away from each other, gasping for air, and for the case of Deku, holding his arm as well. It's most definitely broken. Then he looked up to see the Hollow looking down on him. He was a bit terrified, of course. Then he saw a piece of what seems a mask fall off, and it revealed a human face behind it. Glowing golden eyes looking at him, and Deku's fear started subsiding a bit. For some reason he had this familiar feeling from this person, but the string of thoughts were cut off by All Might throwing the Numu out of the USJ, or punching the Numu out of USJ. Seeing the hole, the Hollow looked at Deku one more time, then it leaped toward the hole and ran away. Deku breathed a sigh of relief and started making his way toward the main area. When he arrived, he saw All Might standing up, but he can see some steams coming out of him. That thing pushed him to his limits. He won't hold his buff form anymore. Shigaraki started throwing a tantrum and charged at All Might. All Might was helpless. Then suddenly Deku appeared from nowhere, punching Shigaraki square in the face, and because he's using One for All, Shigaraki slid on the ground for a few meters, and when he gets up he starts bleeding from his mouth and nose. Then he looked up. You're still alive? How? That thing should have torn you to shred. Then Deku smirked. I don't know, but somehow I'm still alive and kicking. And this surprised All Might. Deku was always shy. Where did this confidence come from? It even shocked Deku a bit. He didn't believe the words that are coming up from his mouth. That was just a lucky shot. This time I'm going to kill her. Then he got penetrated by 3 bullets. Then Kurogiri quickly warped them away. Ah, thank God they're gone. Yes, indeed, young Midoriya. Deku turned around and see All Might in a semi-buff form. You saved my life. Thank you. Deku just smiled. It was my pleasure, All Might. All Might smiled back. Then Cementos was able to cover All Might before anyone can see him. After this, the paramedic and the cops arrive. They do a quick checkup and they ask the students what happened. And of course, the most intriguing one is Deku. He fought a solo monster, it seems. But after Deku explained that that monster was actually a person and it was almost a slave. A slave, you said? The police asked him. Deku nodded and he explained about the color, the shocking color. Can you describe how that person looked? Sorry, I can't. It had this weird white skin around it. It made it look like a monster, but I was able to break a piece out of it and only see their eyes, glowing yellow, almost like gold. It was mesmerizing to look at. What, kid? Deku snapped out of it and realized what he said. It's okay, kid. We get the picture now. Well, some of it. Just stay safe and try to not get mesmerized by other people's eyes. Deku just blushed and he watched the police leaving, thinking what the hell did he just say. After this, everyone were taken back to UA. Deku was taken to recovery gear to do a quick checkup and of course to heal his broken arm. I'm impressed, Sonny. You're actually not that hurt compared to yesterday. Thanks, recovery girl. Somehow I was able to use One for All without breaking my bones. I can't remember how though, but I did it. Recovery girl replied. Don't worry about it. If you did it once, you can do it again. Just keep practicing. It will come back eventually. Deku smiled and nodded. Right. Then All Might speak up. I'm impressed, young Midoriya. In just one day you improved this much. Thanks, All Might. But coming back to your theory, I think you intentionally held back because you are fighting against people this time. And you don't want to kill them because you know how much power you have. I hold back? All Might nod. By my estimate, you can only use 5%. So try focusing on only using 5, then you can progress from there. Deku nodded and thanked him for the information. So Deku left and went back to his home. And in his way started thinking about One for All, then the thought about the hollow pop up in his mind. Why does he feel so familiar? Then he brings out the mask from his backpack. Yes, he carries it with him. Why does it feel familiar to you? What's going on? I need answers. Then Deku made his way back home and unbeknownst to him, someone was watching him from afar. So you already have the mask. Interesting. But I cannot feel his power at all. Maybe he just unlocked it. Then they smile. I want to talk to him already. Back to Deku, he just arrived home and his mom gave him a crushing hug after hearing the news about the USJ. Mom, please, let go. Need air. Then his mom let go of him and apologized. It's okay, Mom. I'm sorry that I worried you. Nah, it's okay, but are you okay? I'm fine. Why do you ask? You seem troubled. What's on your mind? Oh, it's nothing. So don't worry about it, okay? I'm just tired from the attack. Oh, I can understand. Go to your room. You need your rest. Deku nodded. He went to his room and lay down for a bit. He kept looking at the mask and kept asking the same question, but with no answers. So after a few hours, Deku decided to go out. Maybe some air will help me a bit. So he started walking, and somehow he ended up at the beach that he trained during the summer. Well, actually it's only been 2 days since he's been here. Anyway, back to the story. So Deku is sitting on the sand, and he cannot get rid of the encounter out of his head. Why I keep thinking about that? And why do you feel so familiar? He said that while looking at the mask. Then he turned it around and slowly put it on. And the second he did that, the part of the mask that was broken immediately repaired itself, and it's almost latched out on Deku's face. Deku felt that. He tried to remove it, but everything turned black. It's like he's falling into an endless darkness, but it feels so familiar. He's not scared, but he should be. After he heard the growl, he turned around only to be met with a monster similar to the one that he fought in USJ, but a bit different. The most notable features are this one have horns. The Hal looked at Deku, then he charged at him with immense speed, but right before it reached him, Deku opened his eyes in the real world. What was that? You're lucky that I was nearby. Deku looked to his right and saw a person standing there. Who are you? Then he saw the mask. That's mine. I know, but do you know what it is? And how dangerous it was for you to put it on without being prepared for it? Prepare for it? Ready? What do you mean? Do you know what it is? That person smile and Deku blush a bit. Of course I know. Because and they show their mask. I have my own. Deku's eyes widen. Wait a second, that mask. Those eyes. It can't be. Oh, do you remember me? That's cute. So to answer your question, yes, I know what is this mask. And I know what it can do. And you are just like me. Just like you? Just who are you? Oh, me? You can call me Hana. And it looks like that we are going to spend a lot of time together from now on. And she smiled. And with this, I'm going to stop it right here. I know this part is shorter than the others, but sometimes it happened. I cannot make a 20 or 25 minute part, especially the first part. So if you enjoyed this series and want me to do more, let's say 500 likes and I'll make another one. And if you are new, subscribe, and see you guys soon. Peace.